It's a former guest versus his new podcast partner, with comedian Mike Bobbitt taking on writer Sam Gasch in 20 questions about the TV show Scrubs and the WWE Attitude Era. This is Trivia with Buds. It be. And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks so much for putting this podcast in your ears today. This show comes out every single Tuesday in a full-length version of an episode. We also have mini episodes on Thursdays. This is our 83rd full-length episode. We have 7 mini episodes up, so go back and check out the titles of the episodes. See what you're into. Quiz yourself on a nice road trip, or on a nice workout, or on a nice dog walk, okay? That would be fun for you to do. I had a crazy family weekend. We went back to Crestwood, Illinois, where I was born and raised. My brother and I. My brother lives in Tennessee. I live out here in L.A., and we went and helped my mom try and declutter her house so she can get ready to move this spring or summer. And we went through every single cabinet, every single drawer and shelf, and man, she had so many crazy old things. Some really cool gems that you could see on my social media. Here was just one thing I found. It was a hidden wall safe that looked like an electrical outlet that you could install, but it was about the size of a dollar bill. So I don't know what you could really hide in that safe. It was very, very small. Maybe like a small pair of rubies or something. We found that. We found like an old magnet set that had never been opened from the 70s. We found a thing called a midget bulb tester with a woman with a bob haircut from the 60s on it. She had never opened it. So a lot of fun gems and crazy stuff around my mom's house. Here's a little audio from my experience this weekend. Tommy, what do you got there? What is that? Matt, what is that bottle?
Are you videotaping?
Yeah, what is that, Matt?
It's a bottle of liquor off a plane from 1970 when we went to Las Vegas.
On a honeymoon?
No, after the honeymoon.
Okay, and it's been open and a little's gone, so what was...
No, just like maybe a sip was going on.
Okay, so why is it open?
To rub on somebody's gums when they had a toothache.
Who's somebody?
I don't know.
A baby.
A baby's
You
gums.
gave a baby booze. I bet they took a nice nap afterwards. Alright, so this is the junk drawer since 1971.
Going bye-bye.
That's not good. Are you having fun?
So that's the kind of stuff I was dealing with. That was my brother Tom and my mom Kieran Buds. You can hear them on past episodes of the podcast. My mom was on a Mother's Day episode where we revealed to her we were pregnant with our second kid, Tommy Dalton Buds. You could check that out in the feed from last year's Mother's Day. You could also listen to my brother Tom on an episode where we go one-on-one in American Pie series trivia. He was also on another episode 10, way back in the day, with my other brother Scott, and they did some Stallone movies and Bon Jovi trivia. So check them out if you want to hear more of their beautiful voices. I had some great plane rides there and back to Chicagoland area this past weekend. I flew from Ontario, California, the Ontario airport, which is really close to my house. It was a lot easier to get to than Los Angeles, LAX. And I flew out of there early on Friday morning, and I sat next to a Mormon couple who was about 60. They had about 6 kids. Super, super nice. And I talked to them for about 2.5 hours, which I usually don't do on a flight. Usually, especially in the morning, I'm like, all right, headphones like everybody else, go to sleep, watch something. But they were a delightful couple. So shout out to Jill and Randy if they happen to check out this episode of the podcast. I was telling them all about my mom and my family and stuff. Really nice family. On the way back, it was a little bit different. I watched the new Chris Rock special. That was pretty much all I did. And then I think I took a little nap. It was a really early flight Monday morning of this week, and it was very cold. So I was all bundled up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch this thing called Tambourine, the new surprise Netflix special from Chris Rock, first special in 10 years, and it was amazing, really good. And I haven't watched a lot of stand-up lately, so I was kind of like not in a stand-up mood, and man, there were like at least 10 quotable lines, classic Chris Rock style special. Just really loved it. I highly recommend everybody goes and watches Chris Rock's Tambourine. really, really good. Speaking of comedians, we have a comedian named Mike Bobbitt. We have a comedic writer named Sam Gasch, and they're going to battle in 20 questions on Scrubs and WWE's Attitude Era. Here we go. I'm sitting here in my man cave, in my den, in Laverne, California, and it's a rare Friday night recording of this podcast. You will hear it on a Tuesday sometime in the future, but I am 4 beers in. That never happens when I'm recording the show, but I've had 4 Stellas tonight, and it's because I am chatting with 2 great friends of mine. My good friend Mike Bobbitt. How's it going, Mike?
2 very large glasses of wine that have taken the entire bottle of wine in right now myself.
Very good, Mike. And my good friend Sam Gasch. What's up, Sam?
Not too much. I have no beverage in front of me.
No beverage at all. If you had a choice of any beverage in the world, Sam, what would you have in front of you?
Oreo McFlurry?
There you go. That's a perfect drink. You could drink an Oreo McFlurry. You just add a little milk to it and just pour it down your gullet.
Or just, wait.
Yeah, you could just wait for it to melt a little bit too. You guys are pals of mine. Mike, you've been on the show before. You were on episode 6, Bob's Burgers versus John Hughes Movies, with your lovely wife-to-be, Allison Hood. And how was your first experience on the podcast? Did you win that show?
I did. I crushed her, Ryan. I destroyed her. Why would you even ask?
That's true. I do have a big chart on a wall in my house. I just haven't had time to turn my head to check it. But I do now see that Mike Bobbitt destroyed Allison Hood in some John Hughes and Bob's Burgers trivia. And then you got engaged to her at Disneyland. Tell me that quick story.
Well, I wanted to do something epic, and I met a comedian that was friends with someone who was in charge of all the Star Wars characters at Disney. So he put me in touch with her. She and I went back and forth for about a month on trying to figure out how I could do a Star Wars-related proposal at Disney on Allison's birthday, but then her bosses vetoed it because if they made an exception for one person, then absolutely everyone would be asking Disney to help them out to do a proposal there. So I just kind of winged it. Allison's birthday is November 20th. They already had their Christmas tree set up. She loves Christmas. So we walked in. The Christmas tree was right up front. They had a photographer there. I was like, all right, this is where I'm doing it. And just that moment of trying to figure out how I was going to get the ring ready. I had a Post-it note that I was going to put on my phone to let the photographer know that I was going to propose. Everything felt like I just didn't have enough hands. But it ended up going really well. We got still pictures. We got videos of the proposal. It was cool. How did you end up proposing to Ashley, by the way? I don't know that story.
I got proposed. I got proposed. That's not the right phrase. That's 4 Stellas. That's what I'm saying right now. I got engaged to my wife in the Willis Tower, which is formerly known as the Sears Tower. And I took her up there, and we got on this thing called the Ledge, which is like a clear glass box over the whole city. And I thought it would be cool to kneel down on that ledge and give her the ring. And we went up on one of the worst weather days that year, so you couldn't see anything. So it actually made the whole experience very less scary to be able to. It was just like gray clouds. You know what I mean? I felt like I was in a video game in the section that hasn't been like animated fully. So they're like, you're not supposed to be here. You know.
That's great.
Yeah, it went well, and she said yes, and we got married. That was 9, 10, 11, so we are on 6 years of marriage, and you're getting ready for yours. Do you guys have a date set yet?
October 27th. I do plan on inviting both you and Sam. Hopefully you guys can make the trip to Michigan.
Sam, you could be my date.
I look forward to it. I will wear the prettiest dress.
And guess what? I will have a Oreo McFlurry corsage for you. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to create it.
I look forward to all of that.
Mike,
it also occurs to me It also occurs to me that I have a high-pitched voice and my name is Sam, so there might be people who legitimately think I'm a lovely lady right now.
You never know. Sam, you are a actor and a writer around L.A., and Mike, you're a comedian. Mike, you've been on the WTF podcast with Mark Maron, which is a super well-known show, and you've also been on this show before. You're a big cat lover. What do you love most about cats?
I love that our cats, anyway, have picked up on our own personalities, so we have very codependent, needy cats. So that's what I love most about my cats. That's what I love about them.
Have you thought about having a cat ring bearer at this wedding?
No, you can't train a cat. Cat's just going to do what a cat wants to do.
There you go. Sam, have you ever been part of a wedding? Have you ever been a ring bearer or anything like that?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, about 2 years old, there are pictures of me as a ring bearer at my aunt and uncle's wedding. And in my closet back home in Tucson is the heart-shaped pillow that ring was carried on.
There you go. That's a good pillow to take a nap on. A lot of people don't realize that. Sam, you're an actor. You were in a movie called Labyrinths in 2015, according to IMDb, which I assume is a fan-made sequel to the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie.
It's not. I don't know why they gave it that name, but the guy who was producing it talked to a social media specialist, and they agreed that was a better name for the movie.
There you go. That's perfect. And you...
Although, actually, you were doing an interview with the creator or the writer of Hey Arnold, and I'd recommended someone to you to ask a few questions of him.
Yeah.
And the person I recommended, Jazz... I know Jazz through the movie Labyrinths.
Oh, there you go. Small world. It all comes back to the podcast. Check out that episode with Craig Bartlett talking about bringing Hey Arnold back after 14 years. Sam, you were recently recommended by Netflix to watch the Emoji Movie. You were not happy about it. How did that go?
Poorly, because I had just seen it. I think you know him. Harry Valentine had a bad movie marathon day, and so we were all made to watch the Emoji Movie, and it is so bad. It is soulless, heartless, and just humorless.
I cannot wait to watch it now that I know it's on Netflix from your Twitter profile. You guys run a podcast together called the Ideal Remake podcast. How did that idea come about? What made you guys go, let's do something with that theme?
So I originally pitched this show to Mike because I had this idea because I thought it'd be a fun conversation piece, and I wanted to talk to Mike because Mike is one of those people that just knows all of these weird details and connections and personal stories, and there's no person who I know who can better tell Hollywood stories than Mike Bobbitt, and so that's why I thought it would be so much fun to do this podcast with him.
How did you guys meet? Because I know Sam vaguely from hanging out with a wrestling crowd, watching a lot of wrestling events and different things with Paul Lair. And I know Mike Bobbitt from doing shows in Simi Valley with Casey Moran. So two different crowds. How did you guys talk to each other?
Oh, I love this. This is my
You want to take this one, Mike?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I was cast on a television show called Tabloid with Jerry Springer, which was reenacting news stories. And I got cast in an episode where they were doing the story about the woman who said she was a 9/11 survivor, but later it turned out that she wasn't even in the United States at the time. And I had a scene that I was supposed to be one of her, a fellow 9/11 survivor, and I was supposed to cry and console her when we were at Ground Zero. And Sam was an extra in that episode and didn't know what the scene was going to be, so I'm just kind of psyching myself up, like, all right, I gotta cry, I can do this, I cried in the audition, I can cry on the day, and I'm just thinking about every sad thing I can think about. I'm thinking about my mom dying, and I'm staring at the sun so I can try to make my eyes water, and Sam just looks over and sees this really sad-looking guy, so right as they're about to say action, he leans over to me and says, "It's okay, Timmy, we'll help you find your dog." And I just started laughing right as they said action, and it's supposed to be my scene where I'm going to cry, and I'm just cracking up, and they don't say cut, so I have to quickly turn the laugh into a cry, and then console this lady while I'm giggling, and it's 9/11, and so I was pissed about it for weeks, and I was hanging out with my writing partner DJ Dangler, telling him about that story, and DJ, who's just the easiest going person in the world because he smokes all the weed, just kind of laughed about it and was like, yeah, but if I did that to you, you would think it was funny. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And we were, DJ and I were at a Channel 101 screening, and we were in the movie theater. We looked over, and DJ's like, oh, I know that kid. His name's Sam. And I looked over across the theater. I was like, that's the fucking guy from the story. And so as I was telling DJ the story about Sam and how I held this grudge for weeks, we ran into Sam. But because DJ put it into a new perspective, I was able to become friends with Sam. And then I told Sam, I was like, I hated you up until about 30 seconds ago. And then we just became friends.
Man, there's no better origin story than the one you just told me. That no one else in the world will ever have that story, which is the best part.
Yes.
Awesome. Now that we know a little bit about you guys, we're going to dive into the categories you gave me that we might be doing trivia on. We'll start with Mike's categories. Now, Mike, you've been on the show before. These are 5 totally different categories. How do you feel about your chances of winning this competition?
Well, when I was on before, I picked categories that I felt Allison would know too, because I love her and I sleep next to her. Sam will not let me sleep next to him, and he has withheld his love from me. So this time I went vicious, and I went very niche categories that I kind of knew Sam would know nothing about. So I feel great today.
There you go. Sam, how do you feel about the 5 you gave to compete with Mike?
I did not know that Mike and I were going to be competing. So when you asked categories, my problem is that I know a little bit about a lot of things and
Sure.
a lot about very few things. So I literally just came up with the 5 things I could think of. So
It's
not
kinda-
good. Not good at all.
It's kind of hard to do, especially like when sometimes I'll put myself on the spot and I'll do like a one-on-one trivia battle with somebody for the podcast. And I'm like, what are 5 things I know? And like most recently I did an episode with my friend Randy Washington and I said fictional dogs and I didn't know the answer to like any of the fictional dog questions that he asked me. So yeah, it's hard to put yourself on the spot. I'm going to give the 5 categories you gave to me, to the listener right now. Mike, you said WWE Attitude Era, which is right in my wheelhouse, so close to my heart, wrestling and especially the late 90s, early 2000s. So I didn't know you watched wrestling.
I'm hoping that one of the two of you will tell me that you love me, and I knew that this would kind of maybe get an I love you from you, Ryan.
I love you, Mike. I love you very much.
Thank you.
Your next topic was Boba Fett, something I know nothing about except that he supposedly dies in a Sarlacc pit, but some people don't think he did.
That is correct.
Are you one of those people?
It's all. It turns out it's all make believe. So
I'm kind of wondering what was so badass about Boba Fett, which made him such an iconic character in the mythology of Star Wars. Because when I look at him, I don't see anything different from a very standard fan's eyes of what makes him stand out as like this legendary character.
I think it's a 2-part thing. I think the first part is that his big reveal was in the infamously bad Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah.
And he is the only good thing in that. So I think just compared to all that shit around him, it just made him extra cool. And then also he was one of the first mail-away action figures, so he was just so mysterious. He was just this cool guy with a rocket-firing, backpack, and so everyone could kind of make their own mythology before the movie came out. And then when the movie comes out, you're like, he says like 3 lines. But
That's a good point, though. I like that you said that people can make their own mythology. That's like it was like the custom figure of its time, because you were like, I don't know anything about this guy, but he's pretty cool looking.
Right. I was just, there's a Netflix series on toys right now, and they were talking about the G.I. Joe figures where to save money, the Snake Eyes figure, they just didn't put any paint applications. He's just black plastic, and they were like, well, it's going to save us money. But everyone loves Snake Eyes, so you never know. You just come out with something cool, and the kids eat it up.
There you go.
Plus, he's wearing that mask, so you could just assume that what he really looks like is you.
There you go.
I have a custom Boba Fett that looks like me.
I love it. My version of Boba Fett. This is kind of like like how people think about Jesus. My version of Boba Fett is just Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry as Medea.
As Boba Fett. Yep. That's right. Here's your next topic. It was punk rock. I've had that on the show before with my good friend Brian Bonsall, star of Blank Check and Family Ties and all kinds of other movies. He did some punk rock trivia on the show. You could check that out. And Mike, you're a big punk rock fan. You're a little bit, we did like kind of pop punk on that episode. You're more of like a straight up punk fan.
I like it all. I've gotten to the point where now that I'm older, I'm not a super angry, if anything, before Green Day is real punk. I like it all. I like Green Day. I like The Business. I like old English oi bands, and I like it all. And
I should tell the listener that Mike Bobbitt is 64 years old.
That's so nice. You'd shave off 5 years. I'm a very sexy 69.
He's a very well-aged Nintendo system. Your next topic was Gwar, which may have been one of your topics in the first time you were on the show, and you educated me on Gwar on that episode, if I'm not mistaken.
I probably did. One of the first very cool things I did, I had a leather jacket painted with Gwar on the back in the late 80s, and snuck backstage to a Gwar show, got to become friends with them, and then every year in October, they would let me go out to Virginia and help them finish up props for their little Halloween tours and let me crash on their couches and stuff. So they've been people I've been friends with and fans of for most of my life. And unfortunately, the lead singer has overdosed and died, but he was a true mentor, and those guys mean the world to me.
There you go. A little take on Gwar from Mike Bobbitt. Your last topic was the IT Crowd. That's a show I've seen on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it's on, like maybe the first season or the first 10 episodes or so. I love British humor. I love all the British shows that I can consume. This is one of those shows that I've really had a slow burn on. So it's like I have never like binged it, but every once in a while it pops up and I'm like, yeah, I'll watch the IT Crowd. Like I do love it. I do enjoy it. I love the one setting of just like that basement. I just think that's such a fun setting for a sitcom. And my favorite British sitcom of all time is Peep Show. And there's some parallels there, but tell me a little bit about why you love the IT Crowd.
I think, as we covered in the episode of Ideal Remake that you're on, that I have a man crush on Tim Curry. I also have a man crush on Chris O'Dowd. That's probably all it comes down to.
I have a friend who has a baby boy who's about 3 years old who looks exactly and sounds exactly like Chris O'Dowd, which is very strange.
Yeah, because he's a tall guy. That's a
right.
Big baby.
Yeah, it's a tiny child, but it looks and sounds just like him.
Ryan, if you like the Peep Show, have you been watching? Have you ever watched that Mitchell and Webb look, the sketch comedy show they did for a little while?
I've seen a few clips online, and I thought that it would ruin my perception of what I like about Peep Show, so I didn't pursue it. Do you ever do something like that? You see more stuff, and you're like, nah, maybe not this, and then you just stop?
Nothing that immediately springs to mind.
Sure.
I guess I try not to associate it with most Rick and Morty fandoms online.
I could see that. I guess my equivalent, you could be watching Better Call Saul, and you're like, maybe I'll watch Mr. Show, and then you're like, this is not why I like the character on Better Call Saul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So I like sketch comedy, but I only watched, I think, maybe one or two sketches, one of the most, like, the ones with the most hits on YouTube, and I was like, this is good, but I was so into the mythology of Peep Show, I just didn't want to, like, pursue something else, I think, at the time. But those were your topics, Mike. Those were great. Those were very varied.
Allison and I just watched a movie called Confetti, which is about a bunch of couples competing to have the most original wedding. And one of the guys from Peep Show is in it playing a nudist. with Olivia Colman, who's in a lot of British stuff and absolutely amazing. And they were told that they were going to be pixelated throughout the entire movie, but they're not.
Oh,
they
boy.
didn't come out until the premiere. And, like, I guess the director or the producer was a real dick about it. Like, aha, gotcha. So, yeah. So if you want to see one of the Peep Show guys, uncircumcised wiener, it's in the movie Betty. Lot.
That's some good trivia. Thanks, Bobbitt. I love that someone.
I know all about penises.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that someone named Bobbitt is giving the penis trivia on this show. Very good. Peep Show, I think, and a lot of people don't know this show, but I would say Peep Show is my favorite sitcom of all time, and I've seen a lot of sitcoms. And like, if a lot of like, I would probably say Seinfeld is before that. You're like, oh, the variety of humor on this show and what this show is and how long it was on. There's just something about Peep Show that draws me to it. I've watched the whole series about 4 times. It's like my go to sleep at night show. Yeah, it's not. I don't even know if it's really as good as I have it in my head, but it's like hysterical, laugh out loud kind of a show for me.
Have you watched The In-Betweeners?
I have watched all of it and both movies, and I really liked it. It took me a while to get started. I kind of stalled on that at the beginning, and then I jumped into it, and I loved it, and I consumed all of it. I actually have an In-Betweeners script book on my shelf right behind me of all the scripts from all the episodes.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
$2. $2 on Amazon. Yeah.
I love that show.
Love it. $2 on Amazon. You can't beat it. And that's the best use of the word minge I've ever heard in my life. Another British show that I really liked recently was called Toast of London. Have you guys seen that?
I have a Toast of London t-shirt right now.
No, I haven't.
I watched all of those in about 2 weeks and really, really enjoyed it. Especially the sound. Like, the whole show to me could have been the voiceover sessions.
Oh, I know. My shirt says I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
I need that bumper sticker.
Clem Fandango is in the new Star Trek series.
There you go. That it all comes back. And the guy who plays Toast was the boss on the IT Crowd, right?
Right. And because you both have seen the lookbook for the cartoon I had been trying to sell for 2 years. The villain in it is based entirely on Matt Berry. Toast.
There you go.
And, yeah. So.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
There you go. All right. Your 5 topics, Sam. Let's dive into them. The first one was Pokemon. Now, are you a Pokemon fan, blue and red, or all colors of Pokemon?
I have played every generation of Pokemon, and I'm currently still playing Pokemon Go, so I'm a big fan of it as a genre. My thing is that I don't let myself play very many video games because when I do, I'm a completionist and I have to beat every aspect of the game. Like, I gotta get them all. And so Pokemon is like the one game I've let myself play over the years, then continue to let myself play because it's the only thing that I'm like, well, just get them all and then you can be done.
There you go. I loved, wasn't there some kind of code where you went to a certain island in the first video game that lets you get unlimited free candy or something like that?
The missing no thing, where if you did the certain combination, you could, like, the 6th item in your queue, you could get 100 of them, and so you could get 100 Master Balls, 100 rare candies. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Pokemon, your next category on your list was a little...
Are you guys still talking English? Speaking English?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't catch any of that.
Your next topic was Harry Potter.
I think Guar would make for a really good Pokemon.
Guar would be a good Pokemon. Very, very theatric.
Hey, guys, I'm hip and young. Check this out. Meow.
Sam, your next topic was Harry Potter.
Of course it's cat-related.
Do you have a favorite Harry Potter book there, Sam?
It's a reasonably good question. I've definitely read all of them, and I don't know if I can pick a favorite.
It's tough to do.
I mean, I don't like number 5 as much. Number 4 is really good. 3 is great. I have great memories of reading number 2. And then, obviously, the weekend that 7 came out, I just sat in my room all weekend and shut myself off from the world and read it.
That's a good way to do it. I think Goblet of Fire might be my favorite one to read, just because I love the idea of that Triwizard tournament so much.
That Triwizard tournament's so cool.
It's
and
just a cool idea.
I love all the little different things and the egg in the water. It's so good.
There you go. Your next topic was maybe the most boring topic I've ever been given on this show. It was Microsoft Excel. Why do you know about that?
I teach it, or I did teach it.
You teach
and it got to the point
formulas?
where I worked at a tutoring center for a while, and I know more formulas than most people have ever met, and I know macros and VLOOKUPs, and it's like, if I needed something nice, computery, and boring, that apparently I have to be better than Mike at. And also, I found out recently that there's like a world championship of Excel. I can't imagine a less impressive trophy.
There have been no penises touched by anybody competing in that competition.
So it's an exclusively female competition?
Oh, could be. Super Smash Brothers, your next topic, also low on the penis touch count. What do you love? What's your character when you play the game?
I've always been a Samus character. And I specifically put Super Smash Brothers for the N64, because that's the one that I knew best and the one that I know. I always just liked playing as Samus, just that giant charge attack, and then just boom.
There you go. Just boom. Your last topic. Yep.
When I went to college, I brought my N64 with me, and so I worked as an RA for a year and a half, and so that N64 just sat in the RA office, and there was not a time that people weren't just coming into the office to just sit and play Super Smash Brothers with people. Like, that was the game for the dorm, and it was probably the best way the RAs had to connect and be with the potential residents, because we were just playing video games together. It was great.
Yeah, that was the game my friends and I played against each other growing up to explain dominance. It was like if you won in Super Smash, you were the best friend in the group that week. Your last topic was Scrubs, a great TV show, one of my wife's favorite shows. We have all the seasons on DVD on a shelf. And what do you like so much about Scrubs, Sam?
Scrubs is the first TV show that I can remember watching religiously. I talked briefly when we were recording our Ideal Remake podcast episode where you were the guest about how I had this friend, Brad Boltman, who introduced me to a lot of the kind of defining movies and TV shows of my youth, because they weren't necessarily things I was discovering on my own. And Scrubs was one of those shows he introduced me to. And I just remember watching this show and immediately identifying with JD and loving Turk and having a crush on Elliot. And it was just all of these characters and shows, and the comedy was my style of comedy, and everything about that show is just wonderful.
I love that show as well.
Except for season 9, which I pretend doesn't exist.
A lot of people don't like the last seasons of a lot of shows, so I think that is justified. Now that we've heard all 5 categories from Mike and Sam, we are going to reveal which topic I chose for each of you. Mike, I had to do it. You gave it to me on a hook like bait. I chose 10 questions on WWE Attitude Era.
Oh, boy.
Do you know anything about wrestling?
Hopefully the answer to everything is Mick Foley related, and I will ace it.
There's not one Mick Foley question. Here's your question. Your topic, Sam. 10 questions on the TV show Scrubs.
Yeah!
There we go.
I'm going to do poorly.
We'll see how you guys do. You guys got to come up with a 1 or 2 syllable word that kind of, exemplifies something about both of you, maybe something to do with your podcast title, and it'll be something you buzz in with. You got to wait for the whole question to be read, and then you use this word as a buzz in. What's a good 1 or 2 syllable word for you guys?
Remake.
There you go. That's perfect.
Trivia Showdown.
Okay, we'll start with Mike's topic of 10 questions on the Attitude Era, and then we'll alternate between WWE and Scrubs. When you have heard the whole question be read, buzz in with the word remake. If you get your topic's question right, Mike, you get 1 point. Sam, you get 1 point for your topic, Scrubs. If you steal the other guy's topic before they can answer, you get 2 points. So there's a little strategy there. And then we'll do a thing called the combo question, and then a thing called categories with buds, which is unrelated to your categories that you chose. So here we go. This is question number 1. You guys ready?
Ready.
This is the trivia.
Sure.
This is the trivia showdown. This is question number 1. It's about Attitude Era WWE. Question number 1. What wrestler in the Attitude Era used a signature move called the Ho Train?
Oh, was
Yeah, I think Sam said remake first. What do you got, Sam?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan is incorrect, not part of the Attitude Era. What do you got, Mike?
Remake, Godfather?
It was The Godfather. 1 point for Mike. He was a pimp character who had hoes that he would try and sell to his competitors so he wouldn't have to wrestle them. It was pretty ingenious.
It was a very sexist era.
Sure.
WWE.
I have one follow-up question.
Yes.
What is an Attitude Era?
So the Attitude Era was like 1996 to 2001-ish of wrestling, when WWE was competing against WCW, and they would do all kinds of things to try and attract viewers. So they would have very sexy ladies, or crazy matches involving fire and barbed wire and cages, or just insane storylines that really made you want to watch instead of the other product.
It was great when
I'm on board. I know what's going on now.
There you go. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Degeneration X, those kinds of things were all the pioneers of the Attitude Era. We're going to dive into question number 1 about Sam's 10 questions on Scrubs. Here we go. Question number 1. Which character on Scrubs is in an a cappella group?
Remake.
Sam.
Ted the Lawyer.
That's right. Ted the Lawyer. 1 point for Sam. It's 1-1. Mike, are you familiar with Scrubs at all?
Nope, but the dwarf, the little guy in the episode is Marty Kleba from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and he and I went to high school with each other.
High school. Very good. High school sweethearts. Very good. Good to know. Question number 2 for Attitude Era on Mike's side. Again, Sam can buzz in with the word remake to try and steal 2 points if he gets it before Mike does. What did Stone Cold Steve Austin famously hit Vince McMahon with during a hospital visit segment during the Attitude Era?
Remake.
Sam.
Hulk Hogan.
It was not Hulk Hogan. Mike?
Was it a bedpan?
It was a bedpan. That's 2 points for Mike. 2 out of 2 for old Mike Bobbitt. He hits him with a bedpan, and it's a very classic piece of comedy, very similar to the Three Stooges' Curly Shuffle. That caliber of comedy echelon.
Did you watch the last wrestling pay-per-view?
Of course I did.
That's where Stone Cold came back, right?
He did. He came back at the... Oh, actually, was it? Was it the Royal Rumble? No, it was Monday Night Raw 25th anniversary.
Right,
he came out
anniversary.
and gave Austin.
What did you think about that?
It was kind of interesting. He looked really fit and ripped for his age, because he's about 50, 52, and he gave McMahon a stunner, and McMahon is 72 or 73. And the premise...
But he could talk, right?
Yeah, he could talk great. It was awesome. It was a good segment. When his music hit, I got very, very excited. It was like it really felt like it was the late 90s back in the Attitude Era. So here's question number 2 for Scrubs. Which character on Scrubs' first and middle name is Percival Ulysses?
Remake.
Mike.
The janitor?
Not the janitor. Sam, do you know the answer?
Remake.
Yes.
Dr. Cox.
Dr. Cox is right. It's 2-2. You guys are nailing your subject so far. Percival Ulysses Cox. Well done. We're diving back into wrestling. Number 3, what group was The Rock part of before splitting off on his own to become a solo superstar?
Remake.
Sam.
The New Day.
That is a great guess as a modern wrestling watcher, and also an all-black group, but not the answer we're looking for. Do you have one, Mike?
Angry Samoans?
Not the Angry Samoans, but also a good guess with the Samoan background. It was the Nation of Domination.
Oh, I did not know. I still do not know that.
That was a big group. It was kind of like a Black Panthers type group with the head of it was Farouk, and he was a guy named Ron Simmons from WCW.
Yeah,
and
Farouk and Bradshaw.
Mark Henry. Yeah, Farouk later was with Bradshaw with the Acolytes as a tag team. But before that, he was part of the Nation of Domination, and it was The Rock, Farouk, Mark Henry, and D'Lo Brown. And then The Rock kind of broke off and became his own thing. But yeah, Nation of Domination. Number 3, Bill Lawrence for Scrubs. Bill Lawrence said...
I'm familiar with Animation Domination.
Oh, yeah, I know that too on Fox. Number 3 for Scrubs. Bill Lawrence said he wanted Scrubs to read like a live-action version of what show, not only in style and humor, but with high-profile cameos and an ever-growing cast of characters.
Remake.
Mike Bobbitt.
MASH?
It was not MASH. Sam, do you know?
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
Is it Rex something MD, the newspaper comic?
No, you guys thought way too hard. It was The Simpsons. They wanted it to be like a live-action version of The Simpsons.
Neat.
Huh.
There you go. Something new for your brain. Number 4, Attitude Era. What tag team performed a finisher called the 3D?
Remake. Sorry, I forgot our word.
Yeah.
That wasn't the Dudleys, was it?
It was the Dudley Boys. Their finisher was the 3D. Nice job, Mike. 3 points, and Sam has 2. The Dudley Boys did the 3D, which was like a diamond cutter through a table with an assist from a partner. Pretty good job. Question number 4 for Scrubs. What actor played JD's dad who passed away on the show and in real life?
Remake.
Sam.
Remake.
Yeah.
Sorry. John Ritter.
John Ritter. It's 3-3. Could you think of a better dad for JD than John Ritter?
I could not.
I think he's perfect. He's like the same kind of quirkiness and bumbleousness. Bumbleousness? That's not a word. He's the same kind of quirkiness that JD is, so that's perfect. Question number 5, WWE.
And he's the sort of like TV, like the show that he was on is kind of like a dad to the show Scrubs was.
There you go. That's exactly right. Number 5, in wrestling from the Attitude Era, which superstar used to do the dance move, the worm, in the middle of the ring?
Oh, poop. Remake. It's not X-Pac, but that's all I got right now.
X-Pac is a good guess, but incorrect. Sam, anything?
I want to go with Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan is a great guess. It was Scotty Too Hottie, part of the tag team Too Cool. No points there. We're moving on to Scrubs. It's 3-3. There have been no steals. This is a very rare no-steal episode. You both know nothing about the other person's topic, which is interesting. Here's number 5. What intern was nicknamed after a rapper on Scrubs?
Remake.
Sam.
Snoop Dogg intern.
Snoop Dogg intern. Well done, Sam. Mike, did you have any idea?
And he eventually became Snoop Dogg resident.
There you go, Snoop Dogg resident. Here's question number 6 for wrestling. Which superstar used the phrase, "It's true, it's damn true"?
Remake. Shit, I'm blanking now on everything. Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was incorrect. Sam?
What's the guy who paints himself gold?
Goldust?
Sure, that guy. Why not?
It was not him. It was Kurt Angle, the gold medal winner, Kurt Angle, who is now the general manager of Monday Night Raw.
Why couldn't all the questions be about Kane, The Undertaker, and Mick Foley?
Ooh, wait for later. Number 6.
Ooh.
On the finale of Scrubs, the song The Book of Love by what artist plays when JD watches a movie highlighting his future with Elliot?
That's a good question. I do not know.
It's a song called The Book of Love. Do you know the artist, Mike or Sam?
I know the
Actually,
song.
you know what? Let me take a guess.
Yep.
And I know this scene. Remake. Sorry.
Yep.
My guess is Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
Yep.
Fantastic guess, but incorrect. Mike, do you have a choice?
It's older than Phil Collins.
Anything at all?
Nope.
Peter Gabriel.
Oh, it's not that much older than...
No, it was right on par with Phil Collins. No points there,
Yeah.
but a great guess.
That's really close, actually, Sam.
Good job, Sam.
Yeah.
There you go. Number 7 for wrestling. What is the name of the move when Shane McMahon jumps from one turnbuckle to the next turnbuckle and kicks a garbage can into his opponent's face?
Nepotism, the finisher.
Nepotism finisher. Great guess. Incorrect.
No.
What do you got there, Sam?
My guess is the garbage dump.
The garbage dump is incorrect. It was the coast to coast because he jumped from one turnbuckle all the way across the ring to the other turnbuckle. Shane McMahon, classic move, the coast to coast. No points there. Number 7.
Were you ever a fan of Shane McMahon?
Not especially because he's like the boss's son and he's not like a real wrestler. Yeah. He does put on some interesting stunts. I will definitely say that.
Yeah.
Number 7, here we are on Scrubs. Which actress played one of JD's love interests who didn't laugh at his jokes but would say, "That's so funny," instead of laughing?
Remake.
Sam.
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid is incorrect. What do you got there?
Oh, no, I know who it is, too.
Mike
Dang
Bobbitt.
it.
Sarah Chalk?
Not Sarah Chalk. It was.
No.
Sam, second guess?
I know who it is.
Yep.
It's Brandy.
Nope. Mandy Moore was the answer.
Ooh.
Wait, really?
Mandy Moore is the one who says,
Really?
"That's so funny," instead of laughing at jokes. Yeah, no points there.
He's nailing it. It's
Right. That's right.
It's still 4-3. Sam's winning by 1. Let's see what happens here. Number 8 in wrestling, April 1999 had what WWE female on its Playboy cover?
Remake.
Mike.
China.
Not China. Sam, do you have a guess? Malaysia was incorrect. It was Sable, who's married to Brock Lesnar currently.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
April 99, the Sable Playboy cover. Number 8 for Scrubs, who gets punched by Dr. Cox, causing a whistling noise whenever he breathes, so everyone knows he's coming?
Remake.
Yes. Sam.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Crap. I know who it is.
Mike, do you have a guess?
Dang it, I can't think of his name. Can I name the actor?
No. How about you, Mike?
I was only going to say John McGinley, but if I can't say the actor, and he may be Dr. Cox for all I know.
John McGinley is Dr. Cox. The answer I was looking for, Dr. Kelso. No points there.
I know. I'm literally looking at a Scrubs poster in my room. I'm looking at Dr. Kelso's face. I'm like, it's Ken Jennings. Ken!
I think it's Ken Jenkins.
Yeah, you're right.
Number 9, you got to examine that poster. Here's number 9. What did the tag team APA stand for in the Attitude Era?
Remake.
Yes.
Acolytes Protection Agency.
You mentioned it earlier, and that makes it 4-4. The APA, the Acolytes Protection Agency, was the tag team. Couple questions left for each category. Here's number 9 for Scrubs. In the spinoff Scrubs Interns, what actor played Ed Dandapani?
Man, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a lady or a dude.
In the spinoff Scrubs Interns, what actor played Ed Dandapani?
Oh, then Remake.
Yes.
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco's incorrect. Mike Bobbitt.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry.
Aziz Ansari.
Oh, wow.
Aziz Ansari was an intern on Scrubs right before Parks and Rec got started.
Right.
Yeah, Parks and Rec got started, and he left Scrubs right in time to start over on Parks. Number 10. This is the very last question for wrestling from the Attitude Era. Who debuted at the first ever Hell in a Cell to confront The Undertaker in a match against Shawn Michaels?
Remake.
Mike.
Is that where Kane's going to come in?
That's Kane. There's your Kane question. 5 points to Sam's 4, but Sam could tie it up right now with number 10 of Scrubs. Number 10, a season 4 episode called My Life in 4 Cameras, specifically pays homage to what classic sitcom? Any guesses?
Remake.
Sam.
Married with Children.
Married with Children is...
Married with Children?
Incorrect. Mike, do you have a guess?
Brady Bunch?
Not the Brady Bunch. It was Cheers. Cheers was the show that they pulled the most from for that 4-camera sitcom-y version of Scrubs. Right now, it's 5-4. Mike is winning by 1 point. We got a couple more things to do to get some points. How'd you guys feel about the first 20 questions?
It reminds me of when we did the John Hughes one in the episode 6 of Trivia with Buds, where I completely forgot that he made movies without Molly Ringwald, where... I do not know as much about the Attitude Era as I thought.
There you go. Sam, what do you think about Scrubs?
It reminds me of the fact that you and I met at one of Paul Lair's wrestling days, and that you have forgotten that I was the one guy there who knew absolutely nothing about wrestling.
There you go. Well, I'm glad we had Scrubs on the other end to even it out. Again, 5-4, anything can happen in the next few rounds here. This is the combo question.
Combo question.
We're moving on to round number 2, the combo question. So this combines both topics of Scrubs and wrestling in some way. It's kind of a simple question. Let's see if you can figure out the right answer. You're buzzing in with Remake. For 2 points, which Scrubs character cuts a wrestling promo at one point in the Scrubs series?
Remake?
Mike.
The Donald Faison character.
Donald Faison is incorrect. Sam, do you have a guess?
JD.
It is JD for 2 points, and now Sam is winning by 1 point, 6-5. Well done, Sam.
I remember the promo. I just couldn't remember who did it. JD seemed like the most obvious.
He's got long hair, and he's in like a unitard, and he's kind of yelling at the camera. It's very interesting. For all the different daydreams they do on the show, that was the wrestling themed one, and I'm sure they've done a few other wrestling nods. Yeah.
Ryan Bay, I have a bonus point because I have a magnet on my refrigerator with you in a, well, not a unitard, but or are you in a unitard on that? And
I'm wearing black Spanx, and I have $1 million belt around my waist, like the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. And yes, Mike, you get 1 bonus point for handing that magnet, which makes it 6-6.
yeah.
All right, now we're going to do a thing called Categories with Buds. This is the third round. This has nothing to do with scrubs or wrestling, so you both can breathe a sigh of relief.
Categories with Buds.
We're going to go around in a circle, and we'll start with me, then we'll go to Mike, and then we'll go to Sam, and we're going to name the titles of James Bond movies. All you have to do is name a title. As long as you can think of one, you're still in the game. If you can't think of one, or you say one that's already been said, you're eliminated, and the last person standing gets 3 points. If I somehow win, I will award the 3 points to one of you as I see fit. I'm going to kick it off with Skyfall,
Moonraker,
Die Another Day.
GoldenEye,
Goldfinger,
Spectre.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Moonraker.
You already said that. You're eliminated. And it's down to me and Sam. What do you got, Sam?
Quantum of Solace.
That was mine. Good God. From Russia with Love.
I'm out.
Oh, I had 2 more. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I think is one. And also The Man with the Golden Gun.
You said Man with the Golden Gun, didn't you?
We said GoldenEye, Goldfinger. I don't think we said that.
Yeah.
So I'm the winner. That's
Diamonds Are Forever, Casino Royale.
Oh, there you go. So many good ones. And
Casino Royale.
there you go. So I am the winner. I'll award the points to who I see fit. Mike, you get 1 point for your enthusiasm. So that's a nice 7 points for you. Sam, you get 1 point, and that makes it 7. So I got to figure out who this last point goes to. And I'm going to give it to myself. That's right. I'm going to put my own name on my own paper, and I got 1 point, which means it's 7-7. And we have a dun-dun-dun sudden death round. Now, I was going to do this whether this happened or not, but it just happened to be a sudden death situation. So I have 5 questions on movie remakes for the both of you. Here we go. This is 5 questions. You get 1 point for each one of them that you get right. There's no stealing from the other person because it's both of your categories. So let's see who can get some points here. 5 questions for our sudden death round on movie remakes. Bonus round. Number 1, what movie first made in 2002 was remade by director Travis Zarwini in 2016?
Ooh.
What movie first made in 2002 was remade by director Travis Zarwini in 2016?
I don't even know who that is.
I'll give you a hint. It's a horror movie.
Neither do I.
Any guesses?
A 2002 made in 2016?
That's right.
Remake.
Yes. Sam.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Great guess. Incorrect. Mike, any guesses?
I can't think of a 2002 movie that would have been remade. I got nothing.
Cabin Fever, Eli Roth.
I thought Eli Roth remade his own movie. Wow, that's okay.
I think he produced it, but it was directed by somebody else.
Oh, okay. It's in my Netflix queue.
There you go. No points there. Number 2, what 1981 claymation-filled action movie was remade in 2010?
Remake.
Sam.
Clash of the Titans.
100%.
Clash of Titans.
100% correct. 1 point for Sam makes it 8-7 in the sudden death round.
Really? It was Clash of the Titans?
Clash of the Titans. That's what I was looking for. 1 point there for Sam. Here's number 3. Paris Hilton got murdered in what 2005 remake of a 1953 horror flick?
Remake.
Mike.
House of Wax.
House of Wax, and that makes it 8-8. Did you see that movie? I saw it in theaters opening night with a date.
You have a higher tolerance for shit movies than I do.
I sure do.
You saw
and I don't watch any horror movies.
I saw Medea Boo a Halloween in theaters, and people laughed so hard, and I could not understand what was happening. It was like being at a seance or something. It was very bizarre.
I tell the story of you seeing Medea to people just because I love that story.
Well, like, the weird thing was where I'm like, well, maybe this is like a cultural thing where maybe like black audiences really love Medea. But the people that were losing their minds the most were like older white people, which I was like, what is happening?
I don't know.
Very bizarre. Number 4, here it is.
The sequel to that movie was was also one of the movies that we watched at Harry Valentine's Awful Movies of 2017 marathon.
I heard that movie was shot on like a Game Boy Color. Number 4, here it is, everybody. We got 2 questions left for this podcast. Let's see how it all turns out. It's 8-8, one of our closest matches ever. Number 4, who played the coach in the Richard Linklater-directed remake of Bad News Bears?
Remake.
Mike.
Billy Bob?
Billy Bob Thornton. That's 9 points. Sam, did you know that one?
Yeah, that's who it is.
There you go. And it's
as soon as he said remake, I knew who it was.
It's our very last question. This is a chance for Sam to tie it up for an official tie, or for Sam to lose to Mike if Mike gets it, or if Sam just completely loses it and Mike loses it, Mike will be the winner because he's up 1 point. Here's the last question. Number 5, what football comedy was remade in 2005 with one central location?
Remake.
Mike.
Yards?
Remake.
Mike, what was your answer?
Whole 9 yards?
The Whole 9 yards is incorrect. Sam?
Ooh.
That was going to be my guess.
He was close. I'll give you, Sam.
The central location is prison because they're remaking it in prison.
That's right. And Sam, you are close with the title of Mike's answer, but not exactly.
Oh! I know it now.
The Longest Yard?
It was The Longest Yard for a tie game, which makes it 9-9. And now we have an official tie. There has been no winner of this episode. How do you guys feel about those questions?
I love the questions, and I love the outcome because I feel as though Sam is my equal.
I have one final question. Now that we now that you guys said that sappy shit, I have one last question to really break this tie. Here it is. Whoever buzzes in with remake first gets to answer it. Here it is. What pop star played Daisy Duke in the Dukes of Hazzard movie based on the original 70s TV show?
Remake.
Mike Bobbitt.
Remake.
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson for the win. Mike Bobbitt is the champion of this episode. Sam, great showing. Very close.
I blame the internet lag.
There you go. It is about 2 seconds behind. Where can people find your podcast? What day of the week does it come out and all that good stuff?
We come out every other Monday, and we also drop bonus episodes occasionally. In addition to that, and you can find our podcast. It's called Ideal Remake. We also have a Facebook group called the Ideal Remake Podcast that's really active and really fun. Like, I really enjoy our Facebook community a lot, too. And so I encourage people to join both of those.
Awesome. And Sam, where can people find you online?
I am online at my name, so Twitter at Sam Gasch, SamGasch, and I would actively encourage everyone to check out Ideal Remake on Facebook and listen to our podcast because it's super fun.
Very good. And Mike, you're off the mic on everything.
We have a very charming guest named Ryan Buds who's going to be remaking the movie Clue with us.
Oh, I can't wait for that episode to drop. Well done. Thank you guys so much for being on the show, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ryan. You're wonderful.
Thanks so much, Ryan. We really appreciate it.
Boom. There it is. That's how it all turned out. A very close game. That was a really fun one with my good friends Mike Bobbitt and Sam Gasch. Check out their podcast. It's called Ideal Remake, as they mentioned towards the end there. You can check it out wherever podcasts are found, and I highly suggest you do go back and start with a movie that you would like to see be remade. Like Clue, for example. We were also recording an episode throughout the night that we recorded my trivia podcast of their podcast. So I will be on their show talking about Clue and how it should be best remade. So look for that in their feed and give it a listen if you like the 1985 movie Clue. I have a special event coming up on Saturday, April 21st. It's a 3-hour event in Upland, California at a great brewery called Last Name Brewing. You're not going to want to miss this show. It is a trifecta of trivia topics. Okay, listen to this. We have Marvel, we have Disney, and we have Star Wars. And we're going to spend an hour on each one of those things. It's going to be a huge trivia bash. There's only 100 tickets available. This will be a ticketed event. It'll probably be $10 online, $12 at the door, something like that. And we'll have the whole area kind of roped off. There'll be like a no cell phone policy. It'll be very strict. And I'll have a bunch of people helping me run the event. You'll get some sort of greeting bag, goodie bag when you get there, possibly a coupon for the brewery to save money on your first beer, that kind of thing. And the prizes will be really, really good. So the top 3 teams will get amazing prizes, I promise. Really cool collector stuff, or maybe some Disneyland park related stuff if you live in California. So check that out. It's going to be Saturday, April 21st, probably 7 to 10 p.m. at Last Name Brewing. I'll have an event up on my website soon, and it'll be a little bit cheaper if you buy the tickets beforehand. It'll be limited to teams of 4, so you can't have more than 4 people on your team, and I highly suggest you have a good range of people, maybe a couple youngsters and a couple oldsters, to make sure you have all your bases covered to try and win that tournament. Okay, so that's coming up. Check triviawithbuds.com for that special event info coming very, very soon. I wanted to read a review. Sometimes I read reviews of the podcast, and every once in a while I like to read a live event review, which is going to be what I do today. This is from my friend Sanju over in Rancho Cucamonga. He left me an amazing review for my live events. So this is from my Yelp page, Trivia with Buds on Yelp. If you ever play with me, please leave me a review. Tell me what you thought. Those help me book future events, and this one is bound to help as well. So Sanju left this about a little bit over 2 weeks ago. He said, the lowdown of this review is that Trivia with Buds offers the most charming and engaging game of trivia that is offered anywhere in the Los Angeles and Inland Empire area. The primary difference with Trivia with Buds and any other trivia that I've played at the 7 different brewery venues has been that Ryan Buds, as well as the other hosts, focus on engaging the guests of the location in addition to providing some excellent questions. This could take the form of having a conversation with players, as well as making some jokes that would not be out of fashion at a top-of-the-line improv comedy club, such as the ability to engage even with people who have never played trivia before or who are visiting the venue for the first time is a talent to witness and is easy to appreciate, especially when a full atmosphere of friends is involved. This engagement also makes Trivia with Buds well-suited to host a party. From a player's perspective, Ryan's trivia sessions are fun and feature very good sets of questions at the perfect level of difficulty. From a venue's perspective, I would note that Ryan's ability to market using social media and engaging directly with potential customers to help make them regulars provides venues with more than a commensurate level of business. Thank you so much, Sanju. That was very, very nice of you to leave that review. Very detailed, very awesome, and I owe you one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you like this show, if you like what I do live, leave me a review on Yelp or on the podcast app that you're listening to this on. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember, we do full-length episodes every Tuesday, like the one you listened to today, and we do mini episodes on Thursdays. This week's mini episode is all about true love. That's right, a couple weeks late from Valentine's Day. You can do some true love trivia. So grab your boo and play along with this Thursday's episode. The Thursday episodes are just trivia. They're 10 to 15 minutes, and there's not a lot of announcements or banter, mostly just the trivia. So if you're looking for something shorter and quicker in your weekly routine, check out the mini episodes of Trivia with Buds. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time for more trivia fun. Cheers.